So I made a little bit of progress with my Arduino TinyBASIC computer. I've got TinyBASIC running on the Arduino, which is out of the serial interface, is going through a bit of a level shifter here made with two resistors, a 1K and a 2K resistor. And it's communicating with a BBC microbit, which is driving this OLED display. So I can read the output of TinyBASIC on the OLED display. For the input device, I've got an old PS2 keyboard here, which is connected direct to the Arduino, which is reading the keyboard input. I had a bit of garbled output on the display. It wasn't quite working reliably. I've reduced the baud rate to 1200 baud on both the Arduino and the microbit, and that seemed to have helped a little bit, but I was still getting some oddities happening. So I then introduced a delay into the TinyBASIC program running on the Arduino. So it's kind of waits for a couple of seconds when it starts up to allow the sort of microbit to get running and drive the display. Okay, it seems to take a little bit of time for the microbit to settle down. It's a little bit slower at getting set up than the microbit's a little bit slower maybe running MicroPython than the Arduino is at getting the program running. So I've introduced a short delay to allow it to catch up. And now let's see if it works. If I press reset on the Arduino, we should see, there we go, TinyBASIC 1.4. It tells me how much memory I've got free. This display is tiny, so you can only get very few characters at a time. So it kind of disappears before you can read it, but I can list my program. There's no program there. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll type in a new program. I'll type 10 print hello world, as is traditional. Press enter, and then I can list my program. There's my program listing and disappearing again. And then if I type run, hello world did appear very briefly, but then disappeared off the display again. So I think what I'm learning from this is that probably this OLED display driven by a microbit is just not providing enough characters. It's very limited in the number of characters it can display because of the memory. It's also using the microbit font, which is showing double size, and you can't, using the drivers I've got, you can't shrink the font down any smaller. So it's too small really, but it does work. It's proof of concept. I've got it working. Next step I think will probably be to replace this microbit with another Arduino driving an OLED display with a smaller font, and we'll see if that's useful. If it's not, I'll have to think again, and I might just go back down the video route. But it's been fun interfacing an Arduino with a microbit and getting an OLED display working, and also learning a little bit about how I could do a level shifter, so I could send 5-volt serial data out of an Arduino and get it received on the 3-volt microbit, and that seems to work just fine.